Welcome to In Depth with Academia. I'm your host, Richard Price, CEO of academia.edu, and today we're diving into a truly ambitious and thought-provoking The Unified Theory of Physics and the Theory of Everything, authored by Rajiv Singh. All right, so have you ever wondered if there's a single principle connecting energy, life, consciousness, literally everything in the universe, that ancient philosophical itch to find unity beneath all the diversity? Well, that's exactly what Singh's paper to. And before we dive into the details, I'll remind you always, I'm here to only present this research, not necessarily to endorse any specific claims. Let's set the stage. Modern science gives us amazing frameworks like general relativity for gravity and big stuff, quantum mechanics for the tiny, complexity theory for, well, things, and then there's this whole emerging science of information. But these don't always agree. They're kind of like puzzle pieces that don't quite fit together, and that bugged Singh, who, following a long tradition, asks, is there a deeper layer that unifies all scientific knowledge? Now, the punchline of the paper, and really the core question it addresses, is this: could itself, not matter, not energy, but information, be the most basic building of existence? Like, is everything atoms, galaxies, even your own thoughts, just the evolution of informational structures? That's a wild idea, but stay with me. Why is this significant? Well, if true, it means we might finally bridge the big gap between the rules of the really big and heavy, like stars and planets, with very weird and like electrons and quarks. Plus, it shed on as how life emerges, or even why we have consciousness. I mean, it literally tries to what reality is. That's about as big as questions get. So, does Singh make his case? Method blends philosophy, math, and computational of it as triple. Philosophically, he follows the it-bit tradition, John Wheeler's idea that the universe ultimately arises from bits of information. Then, mathematically, Singh lays out like 40 equations, I'm joking, to describe informational entropy, complexity, how these informational networks evolve recursively, and how geometry and physics as we know it might emerge from these dynamics. Computationally, he even talks about simulating informational universes to show how could generate all this, from particles to conscious minds. And side note, I wants to write an automaton to traffic jams. My drivers just crashed everywhere, so maybe there's still hope for a more approach key point here in Singh's framework. Matter, space-time, and even the laws of physics are not fundamental. Instead, they emerge from the evolution of these deeper informational systems. Cycles are described as stable informational attract. Chemistry emerges as more complex informational patterns. Life and consciousness, here's the bold claim, are just even higher levels in the hierarchy of informational complexity. Does this actually for you, the listener? For one thing, it challenges our basic intuitions. The universe be more like an evolving informational network than a giant machine made of stuff. It means that, in principle, our theories about matter, even our own mental lives, might just be cases, emergent properties, of more general informational laws. Alright, what about ability? Is this just philosophy? Singh says not fast. There could observable consequences, perhaps measurable limits in quantum systems, or complexity thresholds necessary for life to emerge, or even new predictions about entanglement in quantum networks. There's a vision here for computational experiments. Simulate informational universes on computer, see if you get particle-like things, or even simple forms of life. It's speculative for sure, but it sets a research agenda that be tackled from multiple disciplines: physics, biology, neuroscience, and computer science. Of course, there are limitations. Singh freely admits isn't a finished, all-consuming of. The math needs tightening, the experiments are, and the connections to what we can actually observe are still pretty tentative. But that's the nature of science. Big theory starts on wobbly, then either falls away or strengthened experiment and collaboration so big. If information is truly the fundamental stuff, everything, space, energy, particles, even consciousness, be seen as layers of informational patterns. This offers a new philosophical vision of the cosmos, reality as a grand, recursive informational adventure, where even our quest to understand is an informational process. I'll end by reminding you again. This truth, with a capital T. It's one researcher's bold framework, full of big ideas, open questions, possibilities for further exploration. Maybe you'll find it inspiring, ridiculous, or a bit mind-bending. Either academic research is here to spark curiosity, not to provide the last word. Thanks for listening In Depth with Academia. If you're curious about the informational foundations of reality, Sing Paper a fascinating place to start thinking. Until next time, keep questioning, and remember, answers are just another way. The universe itself, new questions.